water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed.
Hold up! This ain't working! Let's just get straight to the point.
What are the basic types of temperaments?
Sanguine, the choleric, the melancholy, and the phlegmatic.
The basic temperaments are the sanguine, choleric, melancholic, and phlegmatic.
Temperaments are the phlegmatic, the choleric, the sanguine, and the melancholy.
Melancholy, choleric, sanguine, and phlegmatic temperament.
Are you quiet when you meet someone at first?
I meet someone first. Yes, I tend to be quiet because I want to observe and see if I say the wrong things, how the person react. So it's only natural that when you meet someone for the first time, you're quiet because you want to observe more than you talk. So
Yes, I'm quiet.
Yes, I tend to be quiet when I meet someone for the first time in most cases. But sometimes, whether I'm quiet or not depends on the other person and the kind of energy they bring around me.
For me, yes. So I can be a talkative sometimes, but it has to be with someone I actually know. So anytime I meet new people, I actually kind of reserve myself. Not that I'm going to be quiet, but the conversation is going to be on a low.
yes, I do that a lot. Though it's only sometimes. There are times when I don't like. There are times when I just meet someone and I just feel comfortable and I open up. But most times I'm always like quiet when I meet you for the first time. It's only few people that I just feel like, this person seems like a trustworthy person. Let me just open up. There are times when I feel like I will never see the person again, so I just go ahead and open up. But when I think that maybe I'm most likely to see the person again, and I don't want the person to see me as someone who just talks a lot, most likely because of the how will I put it, what we say that first impression matters. I think most people are likely to be quiet, especially if it's the lady, yes. But if it's the guy, it's the one asking the old questions at all, yes.
One person doing all the talking in a date.
No. Capital no.
No, my answer is no. Plainly no.
No, absolutely not. It's so not okay.
When you're on a date, I think it's important that there is a balance between talking and listening. If one person does all the talking, it's obvious that the conversation is one-sided. And I don't know, it's pretty easy for the other person to be disengaged or to just lose interest in the entire date.
People that don't talk can be very offensive. I know that everybody's personality is different, but at least when asked the question, you're meant to answer, and you don't know how annoying those two phrases can be. So I think most ladies do it a lot. They just be quiet during the day, just eating or pressing food. So people even like to see that social, as I don't know, as a way of being posh. Or I see that's very disrespectful when someone is talking to you, asking all the questions, and the other party just sits there eating.
For me, it's actually a date. So there should be this room for a flow of conversation. This combo should be conversation. Though I know that for the first date, there'll be one of them that might actually be the most expressive. But for the other to just keep quiet, and it's one party that is bringing the cheese, is bringing the tops, and it's doing more. Come on, it's gonna be boring. So a hell no.
So yeah, a good balance is fair.
Which temperament is the most romantic?
Well, it depends on what you see or your meaning of what romance is actually. But I feel all temperaments can actually be romantic.
There's no temperament that is most romantic. All of them have their own different sides that plays into that romance that anybody desires to have. So I can tell you that every one of them, they are the best. So they are good.
Yeah, I'm a child of God, and I believe that the spirit actually helps. Yeah. So a choleric can be romantic, a phlegmatic can be romantic. I know a lot of people tends to think that the phlegmatic are the most emotional set of human beings among all the temperaments. But with the leading of God, for me, I don't have a preference. If you're a choleric, you can be romantic. If you're a phlegmatic, you can be romantic. Every other temperament can actually be romantic.
They can always learn these things. They can always look out for ways to make their relationship work.
So first of all, you need to ask, who is an introvert? Who is an extrovert? So an introvert is somebody that keeps things inside. So the person is not that outgoing type. But an extrovert is outside.
It depends on how you see it, and it's a two-way thing actually. So for some introverted women, they will actually want an introvert, somebody that's like them, somebody that just is exactly like them and understands them. But for some introverted ladies, they will want an extrovert. It's just like he has what I don't want, I don't have.
Okay, I think this depends on the individual preferences of the woman. While temperament can be a good deciding factor, there are a lot of other things to consider, like ideologies, belief systems, level of exposure, and the likes. People are attracted to different qualities in others. So, yeah, an introverted woman can choose to be with an extrovert or an introvert, depending on what she prefers and also on what she's looking out for.
Introverted ladies, because of their personality, I think they'll prefer to go with a freer and more lively temperament, one that acts a lot, that is forward. So I feel most introverted ladies want to be with extroverts, though some won't want to leave their comfort zone, so they would rather prefer their fellow introverted partners.
Introverted woman, basically to my own knowledge, I prefer her to choose or to go with an extroverted man, so that is outgoing. So that when there are things bothering the woman as an introvert, the man can come out as the lion, and also tends to shape that woman and say, okay, this thing should not get into you because I'm here with you to also help you carry burdens.
So just like someone is cold and someone is hot, he has what I don't have, so we can actually blend together. So it's two-way.
Guys, shy and quiet guys. I'm not outgoing guys. Maybe I don't think I want to be equally with a girl that stays in one place, that doesn't explore. I think I want to be with a freer, life-living lady. But like I said, or like I referred to before during the extroverted girls question, yeah, some of them might still want to stick to status quo and not disturb their life, their peaceful, easygoing life. Yeah.
An introverted woman will not basically like will not go well with an introverted man, because the house will be too boring.
Like I said about the introverted women, the introverted men will also choose either an extrovert or an introvert, depending on their personal preferences and depending on the same factors that I mentioned for the women: ideologies, belief systems, level of exposure, and so much more.
For example, there will be somebody that can be an introvert. So, but that extrovert of a person should be able to bring out. They see there is an hidden man in that person. So you must find the right time to bring out that hidden man from that person, so that person can start talking. So
This introverted might want to like someone who is also like him. As in, do your thing, I do my thing. We're not just that. Yeah, but for me, I think a guy who knows he's an introvert will actually fall for or like someone, a lady who is actually an extrovert.
Extroverted ladies sometimes viewed as loose.
Yeah, because of the world we are into, and possibly because of some traditional belief of other people. You just believe that as a lady, there's this sense of reservations you're supposed to have. Oh, come on, in this 21st century, nobody wants to date a dummy. Nobody wants to be around a dummy who wants to keep to herself all the time. So for me, I don't feel as if extroverts are actually seen as loose, though they're actually people who tends to see them as loose as regards how they actually express themselves and mingle with people.
No, this is not true. Extroverted women are not inherently loose, and this is a wrong way to view someone. You don't get to judge someone based on their personality trait or temperament.
Extroverted ladies are sometimes seen as loose. Well, no, this is not true. It's not true because it's their way of expressing themselves through their personality. So they don't have to be termed as loose. Yes, in Nigerians especially, we term them as loose because they would rather be outgoing, not sit in a place as we believe most women are too. But they're not loose, they're just finding ways to express their personalities. And giving you opportunities to express it in better and more creative ways. We would see that those the term loose won't be applicable anymore. So no, they are not loose.
How can you tell if someone is enjoying the date?
If you are on a date with someone, there are some unspoken cues that will tell you if this person is interested or not. For one, someone who is interested will be engaged. They will want to have a conversation with you. When you are talking, they will want to listen.
There are two things to read, you can use to read your audience. Now, number one, face, and number two, the body language.
Expression of the person and the body movement should be able to tell you that this person is actually not interested or has lost interest on the date.
For sure, tell when someone is not enjoying the date or wants to end. From their body language, expression, and from their response, from how often or how enthusiastic they are responding to, you could tell.
So the body language of the person will tell you that, okay, this person is not enjoying my company. So once you see somebody's face just be moody because you are the only one talking, that means the person is not catching any vibe. So, but when the person's face is lit up, you know that yes, that means it should not end. And if you now want to go further, when the person now becomes clingy, he wants the thing to go the extra mile, to go a length.
And someone who is uninterested will practically be disengaged. Mostly, you could observe things like them always looking at the time, being on their phones, looking out the window, and just like overall being distracted. So
possibly when they start checking the time, it means maybe the conversation is not either going well or it's not exciting them.
And once the other party starts giving it that vibe, you just better just end it or find probably spontaneous things to do that could make it more interesting.
What will be a perfect blend of temperaments?
I would like to say Sanguine and the Melancholy together. So they are going to most likely hate each other first before they learn to live with each other, because the Sanguine is spontaneous, doesn't really sometimes it's insensitive, and the Melancholy is so sensitive. I won't call that a perfect blend, but if they can find a way to understand each other, it will really be nice.
I don't really have a choice. It's Sanguine and Choleric, Phlegmatic and Melancholy, Sanguine and Melancholy.
A perfect blend are two different temperaments, not the same.
I feel all these temperament types and their characteristics can actually be controlled by the Spirit of God.
For the believer, it goes beyond temperaments, right? You should know that you're choosing a partner not just because of their personality types, not just because they are melancholy, choleric, phlegmatic, or sanguine, but basically because they align with God's will for your life and what He will have you do per time.
Let's allow God to do the nudging, or whoever God is giving to you can actually be the best partner for you. So choleric can be easily angered and controlled by the Spirit of God, can be the best person for you.
Different brands of temperament, two different blends of temperament coming together to become one, irrespective of the temperament that they have, irrespective of where they are coming from, irrespective of what they have gone through. They bring the different types of temperament that they have, the characteristics, and blend it together, and they become a formidable force.
Anyone can work. It's two people in a relationship, two adults in a relationship. It's all about making the decision that we will do what it takes to make sure that this relationship works.
The most difficult temperaments to date.
Okay, so once again, there are no difficult temperament to date. Everybody has its own uniqueness.
I won't say any temperament is the most difficult. You get like
I would love to say anybody that is displaying any other temperament can also be difficult to date if you make yourself difficult.
Depend on the individual. I don't think dating any temperament type in particular is easy. Relationships basically will require a lot of work and effort from both parties. So there will always be ground for compromise. There will be cases where you have to put the other person first, where you have to communicate and, make allowances for your differences.
Like for some people, staying with a phlegmatic can be very difficult because most times when you ask them to do things, they are unenthusiastic or their response to almost every question is no idea. They don't want to do anything, they just want to be there for fun. So it depends on the other person. What he or she can tolerate, like I said earlier. So if you can't tolerate a person that's always quiet, dating a phlegmatic will be very difficult for you. If you're like me, you don't like being hearing guys, dating a choleric would also be difficult for you. If you're somebody that doesn't like a spontaneous person, dating a sanguine can be very uncomfortable for you. If you're someone who hates people that are too smart, pay too much attention to details, most likely like in melancholy. So
I'm married to somebody that is choleric and you are a sanguine, and when you come back from maybe church, you put your shoe in the parlor, or you just pull your dress and put it on the bed. That one can cause a very big fight because the person will feel irritated by that kind of action you just made. So now for that kind of temperament, you cannot easily how will I put it now? You cannot easily buy them in, or you cannot easily please them. So you must always go at their own pace. If you want peace to reign in your relationship or your home, go at their pace.
So I wouldn't really say there is a most difficult temperament to date or be in a relationship with.
You see, for two people to actually date, they need to understand themselves, their weaknesses and their strengths as well. So a melancholic person can also prove difficult to date. Let there be the understanding, let God just help, and that is just it.
What's the guide to dating choleric people?
A choleric person is direct and straightforward. This person is honest. They appreciate honesty. So I think this would be a major part of your relationship. They also tend to be independent. So you want to give them that independence. You don't want to impose on them too much or too often. You should let them feel in control of their lives when they want to.
Understand them. Give them the chance to express themselves. Don't always judge. Understand that this is the type of person I'm dating. Let them express themselves.
Choleric have a lot of good personality. They're good drivers. In fact, I envy them for the way they get things done. So snappy. But the guys listen to them would be, I guess, to be patient. Because cholerics most times are hard drivers, can drive to the point that you think you're going to die, you can't make it. They don't like to see and they don't like to see potholes along the way. They don't think that we'll get there anyhow, we'll get there. So I think the guys should be patient.
Number one, be yourself. Be yourself. No low self-esteem. And number two, be responsive to your environment. So read the person. Read the person. So number one, don't forget what I said. Number one, be yourself. So always have that high self-esteem around the choleric person. So don't try to overshadow the other. Have that high self-esteem. And number two, be responsive to your environment.
And at intervals, you should be able to, even if you want to, like, make them believe something, try to do it tactically. Then most importantly, pray for them.
I know a lot of affection. Even when they're all tempered, don't follow them and like equally exchange words or argue with them. Just keep quiet, tolerate, and show them love. In a way, them they will calm down. Because definitely they always calm down.
And because the choleric person is not very tactful and they just want things to be done, it's easy to misconstrue their intentions sometimes. Choleric people tend to be pushers. So if they are dating someone who is like maybe calm and reserved, you'll find them wanting this person to do more and be more. You get? So I think the idea here is to focus on their intentions, see what this person is trying to achieve, and seek ways to ensure that both of you are in alignment.
Which temperament is best for marriage?
Answer that as a straight yes or no question, or pick a temperament. I think it just depends on which one you can cope with, which temperament the other partner can cope with.
Like I said again, there is no one that is the best for marriage. Everyone goes hand in hand. Now, the best thing is that God does not give an individual the same thing that he or she carries. So there must be something to complement. So like for a sanguine now, God cannot give probably to my own knowledge, God cannot give that kind of person another sanguine, unless that house will be too playful.
For me, all can actually be the best for marriage. God is leading you to someone who is choleric in nature. Feel if the person is heeding to the leading of God, that person can be the best for you as well.
There is no one best temperament for marriage. Each temperament has their uniqueness. They have their upside, they have their downside. I think the ideal thing to do is to find out where you fit, that is which temperament is predominant in you as a person. Then look out for your weaknesses and try to build up on them, improve on them rather, or look out for your strengths and capitalize on them.
So God can complement that person probably with a melancholy type, so that at least when the person knows that it is time for play and the person is overdoing the play, that's kind of person that is kind of perfect, or kind of knows when to stop playing, can also tell that person and caution that person, come, this is time to be serious.
What would it be like dating a sanguine?
So I'll sell this on to my future wife. So if you want to date me, just know that yes, the house would be very, 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 very lively. So, but one of the things is that we are stubborn. We are stubborn, and we also have a little bit of low self-esteem, because when we do things to make others happy, and you don't give us the same happiness back, it affects us.
Can play around, conversations can go on well with them, most especially when you get a godlike sanguine, actually. So this set of people are actually special type of people, and they're lovable people to be with. Whichever way, if you find someone that actually believes and trusts in God.
Dating a sanguine can be exciting and fun because sanguines are, like I mentioned before, major influencers. They also tend to be spontaneous, so you would always look forward to something new at random moments. However, the sanguine can be impulsive, so this is something you want to look out for and maybe seek ways to tone down on impulsive actions.
It's usually fun, like being with people that are social, have a lot of friends, always want to go out. But sometimes it can be like you don't really know them because there are a lot of people, even them, they sometimes feel they don't know them. So there are too many people around them. They don't know who they are really close to or who is just being close to them because of their fun attitude. And then it can be really frustrating because sometimes they want this thing at this point, at another point they want another thing. So sometimes like you are together with them, they are confusion. They want this thing, they're so enthusiastic about this thing right now, and another minute they are changing. So it can be frustrating sometimes, yes. But for the most part of it, it's fun. It's fun. But sometimes it feels like you are driving along in circles and you are confusion. Especially sometimes when you just want to have a simple, quiet life, they can easily attract a lot of attention and crowd. And I think sometimes they enjoy the attention and they love to be in the spotlight. Sometimes it can be difficult if the other person doesn't like it or doesn't want to be in the spotlight.
The sanguine may also struggle with commitment and follow through. So if you're in a relationship with them, you find yourself having to, follow up with them so that they would do things that they had previously said they would.
So know that when you are dating a sanguine, you must be able to also give them back that same attention.
What would it be like dating a phlegmatic?
So a phlegmatic person is a relaxed person, a peaceful person, just like water, stable.
I can imagine that sometimes it could be like you are waiting for somebody to move mountain before. I'm sure that so that it would be easy for a person to move mountain before phlegmatic people act. So dating a phlegmatic person means most times you're always going to have to be the one to push them because they don't really have like that inner drive to do a lot of things themselves. So sometimes it can be frustrating, and especially when you just want quick answers or you want things done sharply. They're very good listeners, and dating them can be like you have someone to always listen to because they always lend you listening ears, and they really don't argue that much.
They are peaceful and they are easygoing, just like I mentioned before. So dating them can actually be pretty easy. It's going to be like a no stress relationship most of the time, although there may be few exceptions. But the phlegmatic may also tend to be passive, and if you're someone who wants to be around an assertive person, this could be a problem.
A little bit too relaxed, yes. So it will be like you have to do a lot of work pushing them most of the times.
If you're with someone who is phlegmatic, I think you should seek ways to try and get them to open up to you when something is not comfortable or not right with them.
He's somebody that will give you peace of mind, will make you feel relaxed at home. Except another external force makes it or comes from outside and pushes it to the wall. And I begin to see that when you push water too much, it comes back to haunt you.
Melancholy is sometimes viewed as marriage material.
So melancholic people are oftentimes seen as the best husbands or wife materials, okay? Possibly because they are down to earth, they are perfectionists, they can be trusted. It's cool. It's cool.
The melancholic is most times viewed as marriage material because they are very introspective, they are thoughtful, they are good planners. These people will think about like the next 2 or 3 steps before they take an action. So I think it makes it easier for them to come up with creative ways and also realistic ways to make their relationship work.
That's attention to details and sometimes thoughtfulness, but I won't say they are. Do you understand?
The melancholic is also prone to loving stability, so I think it's safe to assume that they will help you build long-lasting relationships. However, all temperament types would make good marriage material.
Marriage material is just who the other person can cope with and who can stay long in marriage, yes.
But I would like to say that the best type of wife or husband material will actually be a genuine Christian, a born again child of God. So someone that is actually born again. A sanguine can be born again and can be the best partner, can be the best husband material. A choleric that is born again can be the best husband material, best wife material. The God factor is actually the most important.
It all depends on you and your partner making a decision that your relationship will work.
What temperament would you find the most faithful?
So, is there the temperament that is faithful? So it's a question I'm asking the audience now. So now, if you are watching this video, you should be able to ask yourself and answer the question: is there any temperament that is faithful?
What temperament? I won't actually choose between all the temperaments because you can be a choleric and you are faithful. You can be sanguine and you are faithful. And you can also be a sanguine and you are not faithful. So whichever type of temperament you have, if you have the leading of God and if you choose to be faithful, you will be faithful.
So now, everybody has his own uniqueness. Faithfulness is an attribute that you develop. So no matter the temperament, if you want to be faithful, you will be faithful. If you want to be unfaithful, you will be unfaithful. So you cannot say because I'm a phlegmatic, that means faithfulness is attached to being phlegmatic. So because God made me sanguine, so I must become phlegmatic before I become faithful. No. So that means to make me faithful, I must develop the characteristics of being faithful to my partner or to my wife.